Hey folks, how's it going? Dave here with the Sax Fishing. Hey, it's time to get into doing some of these how-to videos. We all love getting out there on the water, going fishing, making memories, catching big ones. But we have to start talking about how to set up our equipment so that we can actually get out there and make those wonderful memories. Hey, today we're going to start with talking about how to properly spool up a bait casting reel. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our rod and reel that we're gonna use to set this thing up. I am going to be spooling up my Daiwa Tatula. So I've got my favorite Pro Series rod that I'm going to actually be pairing this up with. I'm gonna throw braid on this this particular reel. I like to throw braid to leader for a lot of techniques. So I've got my reel, I've got it attached to my rod. What I'm going to do now is I've got my braid and I've got my scissors. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my braid, I'm going to run it through this top line guide down through the actual opening for the reel. As you can see, Daiwa Tatula has that T-wing system that actually helps that line move back and forth better on your cast, get you a longer cast, because the line has more room to play as it's moving along that spool. So now we're going to actually adjust this camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing with my hands. Okay, so now that we've got our line selected, we've got our reel selected, like I said, we're going to take our braided line, or line of choice. It doesn't have to be braid. Like I said, I like to use braid to leader on a lot of my techniques. Clear that line up, run the line through that top line guide, like I said, top line guide, and run this down into the reel. What this is doing is it's giving me a little bit of tension on that spool. Kind of helps me do what I need to do to get the line going on the spool and keep tension at the top end. Yeah, I do actually pinch with my braid and forefinger, or a thumb and forefinger on the braid itself as I'm going, but going through that first line guide gives me a little bit more tension to actually spool this up. So as you can see, there are actual holes in the spool. Some people like to just run their line through those holes and then wind it up and go. Others, they like to actually run it through the holes and then tie a knot. I prefer to do the latter. Now, I'll give myself plenty of play on one end because it's not going to really matter, because we're going to pull it taut anyway. But what I do is I tie a loop knot. So I'll go over one and I wrap it 3 times. 1, 2, 3, then I cinch it down tight to the spool. All right. And what I do is I just do one more half knot once that's cinched down. Once that's cinched down. That keeps that knot good and tight. And then I cut off the tag as close as possible without cutting my knot. All right. So I'm gonna pull this up so you can see. So there is my knot on the spool. All right. Now I'm gonna go on and lock it, and I'm gonna move the spool until I see the line catch just enough. All right, it's already caught now. So I'm gonna pinch here, and I'm just gonna wind until my spool is full the way I want it to be. All right, so that's about good for me. There's like a little lip right there on the edge. I try to put enough line so that it's even with that edge, and that feels good to me. But at this point, our reel is spooled up. We're ready to actually run our line through the rest of the line guides. And just like that, folks, you're spooled up. All right, everyone, I hope you learned something today as far as setting up a bait casting reel. These things are wonderful tools to use. They help you catch some nice big ones. Accuracy of cast comes into play once you get into bait casting. but knowing how to set it up properly and spool up your own reel is key. It keeps you from having to pay someone to do it, or it actually allows you, in my opinion, to connect with your equipment a little better. You also learn your equipment more. You can tell when it's malfunctioning. You can tell when things are kind of not right. Again, I hope you learned something. Hey, get out there, get on the water, and have some fun. Fish on, baby.